Alzheimer's patients undergo mind training here at Carrick Brain Center. For 2 weeks, they encounter exercises designed to reignite the brain's areas of memory and personality.
We've had patients that have resumed driving. We've had patients that are remembering their grandchildren for the first time in years.
For example, a patient focusing on a dot while moving their head can improve connectivity in parts of the brain that have deteriorated. In this exercise, Alzheimer's patients experience different kinds of motion, which stimulates the vestibular area of the brain and reawakens memories. After her Alzheimer's diagnosis, Rosalie Kriesel gave up baking, although she used to love it.
How's that? Good?
That's all right.
After spending time here, Rosalie regained enough confidence to make cookies and a cake.
That really helped to start with. You know, we could really see a change. Her personality was better. She was more bubbly. So she kind of got her personality back.
Jean Jones experienced terrible anxiety because she confused her nightmares with reality. That's gone now.
So it's made it wonderful, really. And that was really hard on me as a caregiver, trying to be understanding with that and explaining to her 15 to 20 times a day that that's not really what happened. That was just a dream that you had.
While these stories are encouraging, doctors want families to be realistic about the results.
And the thing I can say is they're not degenerating at the rate that the disease normally declines at, which I think is very, very important, because the biggest thing that we want to do is increase function enough to where they can interact with their family and then not lose that as fast. Because everybody wants that extra minute, that extra hour, that extra day, that extra month. And if we can give those things, then I feel like that we're restoring some humanity that they just didn't have before.
After patients leave the center, it's crucial they keep their minds working.
So whether that's doing things on our iPhone or whether that's doing crossword puzzles, stimulating conversation, not necessarily just being in front of the television, watching the television, but actually talking about topics. Those are the things that are really going to help to really activate the brain.
The right diet can also play a key role in slowing down the progression of Alzheimer's.
Well, a good brain diet is usually pretty low in grains. So a lot of the processing and chemicals and other things that we use to allow us to take grains from the field into the supermarket and keep it alive, so some of those things are just not, very good for the brain.
In addition to grains, patients should steer clear of packaged foods containing trans fats. Research from the University of Oregon shows that people who consume trans fats, also called hydrogenated oils, perform worse on thinking and memory tests, plus had smaller brains.
We know that in Alzheimer's disease that the brain shrinks at an accelerated pace as the disease and pathology spreads to a certain part of the brain. But if you have a larger brain and more brain tissue, you might have a reserve to handle that pathology better.
Scientists discovered the people with the larger brains ate diets high in vitamins B, C, D, E, and fish oil. Some Alzheimer's patients experience symptom reversal by taking coconut oil. This discovery came when Dr. Mary Newport worked with her husband, Steve, who has Alzheimer's. First, he drew this picture of a clock. After 2 weeks on coconut oil, he drew this version. After 3 weeks came even more improvement. She included this and other research in her book, The Coconut Oil and Low Carb Solution for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Other Diseases. Dr. Newport believes some patients have what she calls type 3 diabetes. This entails an insulin problem that prevents brain cells from getting needed glucose. She says coconut oil provides an alternate energy source known as ketone bodies that feed the brain cells.
I do have a collection now of almost 220 reports, mostly from caregivers and some from the person themselves, reporting that they saw improvement after they started taking coconut oil.
In addition to mental stimulation and a healthy diet, Alzheimer's patients seem to benefit from a stable home life. That means minimizing chaos, keeping household items in the same place, and sticking to routines.
If you're adding a lot of new things into the environment, that can be a challenge for patients who are having memory issues.
While lifestyle changes don't cure Alzheimer's, they can slow down the progression of the disease, which means more precious time with loved ones. Lori Johnson, CBN News.